Today we'll be drawing a landscape in Sketches School. We have started out with just a basic green background or green ground, and we're going to add in some layers just to give the picture some depth. I'm going to add in a closer heel. Every time you move closer, your heels are going to get slightly darker. So I'm adding in 3 heels, and I've already done this and just pressed redo to show it, to make it a little bit more quicker, because everybody knows how to draw the ground, and making heels is just doing some wavy lines across the page. Now for the sky, I am just going to click on the paint fill tool, and you can pick any color for your sky. It does not have to be blue. In fact, the sky is rarely actually blue. And I'm just going to tap in on the background, and it's going to fill in the rest of your background blue. Remember, where the sky meets the ground is called the horizon line. And we want to make sure there's no white space in between our ground and our sky. It just should be a blue sky. We're going to draw some trees. I'm going to go to the brush feature. I'm on the smallest one, and I'm going to draw some different colors, maybe some orange trees. Maybe this will be more of a fall drawing. And I'm just going to start out, make my brush a little bit bigger, and start up about halfway up the page, because this tree is off in the distance, so it's going to be a little bit smaller. And create a basic outline shape. Then I can go in with the pen tool, choose a small brush, and start drawing my tree limbs, my branches inside. When your tree branches out, it's always going to branch upward. There you go. Maybe I want to have a different color orange tree. This one's going to be a little bit closer. We're going to have it be on the middle hill. And so this one should be a little bit bigger. Here is my basic tree shape. I'm just going to fill in everything inside. Make sure it's not a smooth circle, because trees do have texture. They should be a little bumpy, a little lumpy. Okay, back to my pen tool, back to the color brown. I'm going to add it in. Whoop, that is not brown. Just hit the undo if you make a mistake, just like I did. Make it slightly bigger. As our tree gets closer to the ground, the trunk is going to get slightly bigger, and it's going to be a little bit more rounded. I'm going to add one more large tree up front. We'll have this one be dark, deep red. How about that? This one is going to be really big because it's so close to the viewer. And it's going to overlap my tree in the background just a little bit. When you overlap your shapes, it's going to look like the trees actually exist in space, because when you look out into a forest, you don't see every individual tree. You typically only see the trees that are closest to you, and the rest are more hidden. And then go back in and add my tree limbs. Every time you pick up your finger with this brush, it's going to get slightly darker. So that's where you see some of those lines in there. Now your basic landscape is done. If you would like to go in and add texture, you can, or add in some highlights. I like this little splatter tool over here on the side. I think it can give a great leaf texture. So for red, a nice highlight would be orange. And I can go in on top and just tap the screen and kind of splatter around on the tree, and it's going to look like highlights on top of that tree. If your splatter gets a little too big or outside of the tree, just hit undo and move to a smaller one. Now these highlights are going to be closer and more prominent to the top of the tree because that's where the sun will hit. Let's add some light yellow ones over here. Some light orange for this back one. And then we can even add some shadows with the same tool. For the red, our dark shadow would be brown. So on the bottom, I can tap and make some brown shadows. A darker orange for the golden tree. And a dark red for the orange tree. Now, if you'd like, you can go in and add clouds. You can go in and add a sun. Now, if you do add a sun, do not do a circle with little lines around it. It looks a little tacky because you have a beautiful drawing going right now. If you do want to add a sun, I would make it just a normal circle. Just do not put the lines going around. I didn't mean to do that. Circles I like to get from the ABC tool. I just tap on the circle, move it to where I want it to go. I wouldn't put it over here because our highlight seems to be coming from this direction. So it's going to shine down on top of the trees from this direction. I can resize it, make it smaller, make it bigger, and when I'm happy with it, I can just hit that check mark. And to add clouds, I am just going to go to my painting tool again and add some white. I'm just going to go a little sideways. And make my cloud shapes. Make sure your clouds do not go in front of your trees because you want to make it look like the clouds are way far in the background. However, they can go in front of your sun, and they can make it look like the sun is hiding behind clouds. Right? And your landscape is done. Please contact me if you have any more questions.